their ballpark goods that we're doing this thing down here. Thanks to J. Ross and J. Ross TV. This couldn't happen without them. I love you, brother. The support you give us. Right on, man.
Alvin Jr. here from New Orleans, man, and you know, I love the best. I love J. Ross TV, baby.
What's up, y'all? This your boy J. Ross hanging out in St. Louis at the Old Rock House with super drummer, y'all, Alvin Jr. here with Dumpster Funk. Man, Alvin, boy, we was checking you out, man, and just been checking you out for years, though. Hey, now, what happened, like, in your growth to put that funk in you like that, man, just that drive?
Man, well, you know, coming from New Orleans, man, where the funk is heavy on the scene, man, you know, all the greats from my city, you know, some of the funkiest and baddest drummers, you know, around, man. So, you know, for me growing up just in the culture and everything, you know, it's bred, you know, we born with that, man, coming from New Orleans. So, you know, I'm just blessed and honored to be here and be a part, man. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Now, when you was coming up as a young cat, was it anything in particular that you can tell the young cats that you practice on or you did to get to where you are now? You know, as far as your skill level, man, your skill level is phenomenal.
Well, I'd definitely say for me, you know, of course, you know, born and raised, growing up in church, you know, I'm a church baby like the rest of probably all the amazing drummers in the world out there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I definitely shared a lot, you know, of course we all want to learn how to play chops and everything, but some of my biggest influences, drummers from New Orleans and my dad as well, and they always, you know, taught me to make sure that I focus on the music, you know, and never let anything get take away from the music. You know, if you're gonna play something, make sure whatever it is, it's, you know, always a part of the music. Make sure the music is feeling good. Make sure everyone around you on the bandstand is feeling great and grooving with you. So for me, you know, growing up, of course we all wild out and sat down and played chops and, you know, listen to John P. Keat, Rain on Us and all. You know, I had that moment too. I definitely, but you know, just trying to play parts. That was like my main thing. Just trying to focus, learn parts, play parts. You know, and I can definitely say that's honestly the reason why I'm working today.
Yeah. So what does the discipline come from?
Probably growing up playing in a church where your dad is like the choir director. You know, I've had those embarrassing moments where it's like, you know, you're playing and he look over to the choir and like, you know what? Not on this song. He'll tell you get off the drums. Yeah. Just sit down and the choir finish the song with just organ in the choir, no drummer. So, you know, that helped played a major part in that. And also one of my uncles, man, who's one of my biggest influence, Terrence Higgins.
Oh yeah, T-Hig.
Yeah, just watching him, man, it's just unbelievable to watch him tour year round with so many different artists, so many different genres of music, you know, and his main thing was just that, you know, he learned music and played parts, you know, and if you're disciplined enough to play the parts, then people will allow you to be yourself and, you know, expand on the music and do what you feel. So, you know, that's I can say that was the major factors and keys for me as far as, you know, trying to be disciplined and playing music and playing the parts.
Once again, y'all, we hanging out in St. Louis, hanging out with super drummer Alvin Jr. Y'all hitting with Dumpster Funk. No, don't try to be modest now. You ready to put some shine on it. You know.
I appreciate it.
But now, like before you went pro, where is it any kind of fear that was in you to say like, man, I can't even do this, I can't do this, but something pushed you through, man, that you can tell cats how to fight their way through it?
Definitely, man. I definitely say, you know, we all have different stories and different situations, you know. For me, I can honestly say my situation was, I had my daughter when I was 21 years old. Yeah. And for me, you know, it's a different feeling, man, when you're just playing just to play because you're like a young kid and, you know, you're just wilding out, just have to worry about yourself. And then when you have a mouth to feed, you know, and you realize that, you know, she won't eat unless I work, you know, and feed her. So for me, man, that was like my motivation, and that inspired me to work hard and make sure that, you know, I was on time and learn all my music and, you know, be the best drummer and best musician that I could be. You know, so my thing with the younger generation is not go out and have a kid early. I'm not saying that at all. But just make sure that when you're shedding and, you know, you're working out with whoever, your friends or whatever, man, try to be the best you that you can be, man. You know, try to always be professional, be likable. You know what I mean? Because, you know, a lot of people always think that it's the drums and your talent that's going to get you in the doors in these different situations. And honestly, that's not the case at all. That's probably just half of it. Not even half, man. That's probably like 5% of it. That's probably like just the shoe in. You know, if people like you, you know what I mean, that's going to take you a long way. Like my dad always taught me when I was a kid, man. He always told me, you know, don't get excited for a phone call. Get excited if you get a phone call back to the gig. If they call you back after you play the tour, after they call you for another tour after the first tour, then you get excited because that's when you know you're doing something right.
Man, that's good information. But let me ask you this, now playing with Dumpster Funk, you got so much freedom to do whatever you want to do. So how is it for a drummer of your stature, and you're a young cat too though, to just be able to put all your creativity into something?
Well, I say honestly, man, playing with Dumpster Funk, first of all, before the opportunity even came about, Dumpster Funk was one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
Growing up from New Orleans, I'm actually from the same neighborhood, Uptown New Orleans, in the 13th Ward, as most of the guys in the band.
Yeah.
The whole band is from Uptown. So I've been fans of these guys since I was literally a little kid, man.
Yeah.
But honestly, going into the situation, first of all, it was hard shoes to follow behind, man. First, we have the great, you know, Raymond Weber, a New Orleans legend,
right,
who was, you know, first with the band. And then when Raymond left the band, then my sister, Nikki Glaspie, who's, you know, phenomenal, she took over the drum throne. So, you know, to come behind those two drummers, I had to really do my homework and my research on the gig first and foremost. You know, I had to come in being able to play all the parts that Raymond created, and then play all the parts that Nikki created as well. Man. And once the guys saw that, you know, I did my homework and I knew my parts, they just allowed me to be me, you know, and they allowed me to, you know, play drums how Alvin, you know, feel the music and everything. So I'm having a blast, man. Honestly, I never thought I would be here with the band, you know, so I'm having a blast with it, man. It's amazing.
All right, y'all, we got cats waiting on them to the left, but last question though, what's up next for you, big dog?
Well, I actually have a band called Tyson.
Talk about
it. Which is me and my brother John Michael Roussel, who's a phenomenal songwriter, singer, and it's a duo project. Both of us, you know, man, it's like alternative pop music, you know. So we got an EP that's actually about to drop in like the next 2 months, 2 to 3 months soon, and be on the lookout for that. 'Cause that's gonna be crazy. It's definitely different from anything you've ever seen me playing and doing before. So just be on the lookout for Tyson. You know, you can follow the band on Instagram at Tyson Band or Facebook at Tyson Band or whatever. You know, you can find us social media. We all over that thing, man.
All right, y'all, this your boy J. Ross hanging out in St. Louis with my cat, Alvin Ford Jr., super drummer for Dumpster Funk, y'all. It's cold out here in the Loop.
In St. Louis, man.
So we gonna let him roll because he got his drum tech waiting on him, so we gotta bounce, y'all. J. Ross TV, 10 million strong, we gone, peace.
Love J. Ross TV, baby.
Right.